Hi guys, how we doing? And it's Kraken here. I've been asked recently to do a bit of a beginner's guide on how to play the game. People have been dying quite frequently. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do day 1 to 7, try and keep the episodes quite short, and just really explaining what I'm doing the whole time going through. So we've just started in a brand new world, and we need to do our beginning quests to get things done. So I always keep my bandage on my tool belt just here. Just the note to tell us from the Duke we don't need to keep hold of that. Land claim blocks can be very useful in single player games, but they're also really cheap to craft, so we don't need that, and we'll keep that just in case we need to keep ourselves warm depending on where we find our next biomes. So the first thing we want to be doing is looking at the quest in the top right hand corner. That gives us a couple of skill points straight away when we complete these quests, so you want to always make sure you follow those through. These little plants here actually give you wood as well as plant fibers, so they're always worth hitting up if you can find them near and around you. So there we go, we've got enough there, so we can hit the bedroll. We'll let that start crafting up, get ourselves a few more, a bit more wood. Also looking for any stones as well, because we'll need them straight away as soon as we start up as well to make ourselves the stone axe. So the bedroll's been made. We're going to place that down. Now I always pick it straight back up because it's not something that we're going to need straight away. We haven't started anything new, we haven't spawned. We've spawned next to a town, which is nice, but there's no reason to, if we die for any real reason really fast, there's no real reason to come back here, so I keep it on my tool belt just in case we do get attacked and we have actually started doing some raiding, so it's worth picking up. Right, there's another stone over here, so we can make ourselves a stone axe now. Now you don't get a lot of wood in the desert, there's not a lot of trees, there's a couple over there, so I'm just going to hit a few of these, get myself a bit of wood to get started. And now we need to make our clothes. So again, now that we get these exclamation points up in the corner, makes life a lot easier for us. So I'm going to quickly craft those up and get those on. Now, I just usually hit up one of these stones just to get ourselves some small stones, because that's the main resource we're going to be using to begin with. That will be repairing our axe, our stone axe here, which is going to be the most important tool that we use at the very beginning of the game. Make ourselves a wooden club. Now, around the area that you spawn in, if you don't go out of a certain area, it's not the smallest area in the world, you've got quite a bit of room, you're not going to have any zombies spawn in to begin with. So you're quite safe in this beginning area, just to knock up a couple of resources, get yourself set up, and get yourself started. There we go, 5 feathers. So now we can make ourselves a wooden bow, primitive bow, and make ourselves 5 arrows. So they need the small stones as well, so we've got 59 of those. There we go, a couple of jars. So I always make myself, because these can be very useful, can make myself 11 of those because we need to place one of them down. And it's again something that I always leave on my hotbar. So we right click, place one of these down, go back to our axe, and we can right click and upgrade that. Ourselves a little bit more wood, and last but not least, the campfire. So again, we place this down. They're nice and cheap to make. Place that down. Now, that has completed us the quest. Now, so that has automatically given us 4 points that we can put straight into perks. Now, some people like to just build in certain trees. I personally, to begin with, always like to move things about and put a bit into each. So a good one to always put into, I find, is the healing factor, because this will gain us 1 HP every 60 seconds. So if you do get attacked, do get hurt slightly, especially overnight, that will just build up your hit points slowly back up again. Now I normally go into Skull Crusher because I do like using the club. So that will do 10% more damage, power attacks, and 40% more to stunned enemies. So that's a good one to get us started. We don't really need to use Pack Mule as much these days because they do give us 3 lines of encumbrance to begin with. Sexy T-Rex is always a good one, because we use less stamina for power attacks and using our tools and melee. So that's always worth using. And I think the last one we're going to put into is Lucky Looter, to hopefully find some better loot when we get started. Now that's got us those quests out the way. We've managed to do that within the first in-game hour. Now it's shown us where the trader is on the map. So that said it's 1.2 away, so the trader is over here, which unfortunately is the opposite direction to that town, but we do know where that town is. So as we know it's over here, I am going to quickly save a waypoint and just mark that we got a town there for us, so we know there's one there. But I like using the trader a lot in the game, so I'm going to head in that direction. I'm going to take one of these trees with me. I find the trader, especially in the early game, is such a vital tool to gain experience, to build yourself up some jukes. The way the point system is now working in the game, there's a lot of time you can't really spec into everything, so we need to start building into things. So now that we've completed that beginning quest and we started moving, we encounter our first zombie. So I'm just going to use my left click, try and keep my stamina nice and high and kill her off, moving backwards slightly as well to keep them away. I'm going to loot absolutely everything I can, because we can always throw bits out that we're not going to need. Cars can always find you some good stuff, some nails. So like I say, with this tutorial we're just going to basically give you a bit of a rundown. So things like that, the gore blocks on the bottom that you find on the ground, straight away you look at your recipes, that'll give me a bone knife. So if I do find an animal to kill, we don't need to keep that, and scrap that. So there we go, we've got a bone knife straight away. There we go. So, bit of a pain, but now we do have our bone knife, our bone shiv. We can chop up this snake, and straight away we found ourselves a bit of meat. So we're a little bit better off for food. Check the rubbish. Now these are very good, these sewing kits, because we can make ourselves extra pockets. So once we get ourselves a bit of cloth, we look at this, recipes, we can make a storage pocket. So they cost a little bit to make, but it does mean that we'll open another line of encumbrance. So they're in the early game, they're very useful. Now you might have seen in the shadows we do have a vulture flying around somewhere. They tend to leave you alone unless you've already been hurt. So if that zombie had hit us or the snake had bitten us, then that vulture would definitely come in. They do tend to leave you alone though. Now we did get there a painkiller. That's a very, very useful tool. That will give you back a lot of health, but it does dehydrate you quite a bit, so it will give us back 40 health. So if we get hit a couple of times, that's going to be very useful, but it does dehydrate you, so we need to make sure we can get a water source in pretty quickly. So that vulture is still flying about, so I think we're going to quickly check this out on the way to the trader, see if we can find some good loot. Probably some paper in the mailbox, yep, and some trash here. Okay, lockpicks. Lockpicks are very useful, always worth perking at least 1 point into the lockpicks. Got ourselves some more nails here, now we're going to scrap those. Now this will give us a little quest. So here it wants us to kill some lumberjacks, so we might not be able to do that straight away because lumberjacks are strong, but it will give us some XP and some free money. So we found ourselves another little friend here. Try and hit him a couple of times, keep our stamina nice and high, keeping those crosshairs right on the head. Now I believe the entrance is round the side. Pop ourselves into here. Now the chairs are always worth picking up because we can scrap them just for wood. Now it does look like the floor is going to give out, and it sounds like, oh hello. So I'm going to have to use my first aid bandage and knock him down. So I didn't really want to use my first aid bandage straight away, but I can make myself one more. So we're going to put him back on our hotbar. Now I need to get over to that sofa to get ourselves some more cloth to make more bandages. So let's quickly knock this up. Bit of wood as well. Right, we've got a little pocket down here, so you can see the corners are slightly up, so always worth digging those up. There we go, we've got ourselves a sweater as well. Now the way to go in here is going to be, they're going to want us to fall down, no doubt. If you just knock the ground around it, it should tell us. It doesn't look like it wants us to fall, so there was a staircase outside, so we're going to go and check that out. Hopefully keep away from that vulture. Pick up another chair. Oh, there's a door we went in, so it's probably upstairs now. There he is. So, made us bleed straight away, but I am going to go and quickly harvest him for his feathers. So you've just got to time them carefully. The vultures. Throw out the rotting flesh. Don't need that. Scrap our chair for a bit more wood. Get our club, and I believe, yeah, we've got a couple over there. Right, let's try and get up here quickly. See if there's any loot. And then we're going to GTFO away from here. Now, when you're breaking these open, because we've got one down here, zombies are not going to be able to get through to us if there was any up here. So is there anybody worth waking up? No. Now the little icon in the bottom left hand corner of a coat, which is above our health and our stamina bar, that is giving you hot and cold resist, so you're not going to get really cold in the snow biome and in the desert like we are here is not going to get you overheating. I need to repair this until you're level 5. So it's just a little helper in the game that we're not going to have to worry about that till level 5. Now we do want to get over there. Jump over here. There we go. Because we do have a medical supply pack here, so straight away we've got another first aid bandage and a normal bandage, so we can help ourselves out with our hit points. Now we're at 76, so I'm going to leave that for the minute because it will slowly go up, and we're going to get ourselves completely out of here and then carry on heading towards that trader. Now there was another vulture out here that I noticed. Got a big one here, OP biker zombie. He's got a helmet on, so he takes less damage when you hit him to the head, and when he hits you, he does move slowly, but when he hits you very hard, so we're going to leave him alone. Now I guarantee that was a vulture. Now I always try and power attack those just because you can normally take them out in one hit. If you just do a normal hit on them, you don't. Got ourselves some eggs. So we can see on the bottom left hand corner we're encumbered now, so we're going to get rid of the bones, we're going to get rid of the rotting flesh, mouldy bread and the sandwich, and we aren't going to need a corn seed straight away. And we can just right click to the water, and we've got ourselves some murky water. We don't want to be drinking that because it will give us dysentery, or a very good chance of it. There we go, we've got some more eggs, which is nice. Now we've got another vulture. I say the vultures will leave you alone if you've got 100%, but because we did get hit and you get a lot of vultures in the desert, we are going to be a little bit vulnerable. Try and get myself a little bit of distance. We've got a couple of them coming towards us, so build our stamina up. Right. Now I'm checking all the birds' nests because feathers are a lot harder to come by now than they ever used to be. So if you were used to playing the previous alphas or playing on an Xbox or PlayStation, the amount of feathers you get now have been greatly reduced. So it is worth, especially in the early game, getting as many as you can. Now it looks like our trader over there. And that's a safe spot basically. As long as you shut the doors behind you, the zombies can't get in. So we're going to go and see our trader, get ourselves started. And these vultures are starting to become a pain. Now your trader can be your best friend. I know we started next to a town, but your trader can be your best friend, because in here we could have a working forge, we could have a working workbench, chemistry station, cement mixer. So we're just going to quickly see what he has got working. So we've got a working cement mixer, destroyed workbench unfortunately, but we have got a repair kit in it, which will come in handy. We've got a working forge. Now that is a great help. Now because we're doing this as a beginner's tutorial, we're going to pretend that this isn't working, just for the sole reason that if you're using this to try and help you begin your game and you come to the trader and it isn't working, you're going to want to know what to do basically if this isn't working. So we're going to pretend that's not working, but by all means, if it's working in your game, then use it to its full advantage. So we're going to quickly speak to the trader.
What are you looking at?
And we're going to see if he's got any jobs. So we've got buried supplies. Now buried supplies used to be an absolute pain, but nowadays we are going to use them because they're a lot easier to get. They're in a lot smaller of an area. So just to get ourselves started, tier 1, we are going to take that. Now, we could have a look at his inventory, but as we only have 4 dukes, it's going to be pretty much useless to us at this point in time. There's a few key things that you want to do in the first day. Get yourself the beginning quest done, get yourself to your trader and find yourself somewhere to stay, and then your next main thing is going to be trying to get yourself a cooking pot so you can cook some food, because we've got some meat, we've got some eggs. We're not going to be able to do a lot with that without being able to cook it with a cooking pot. Right, so here we go. So I'm going to use a couple of these. You can see at the top here on our little compass at the top, you can see when it starts flashing, that is going to be, I know, our treasure, our buried supplies is going to be somewhere in there. So we've got to craft ourselves a quick shovel. Now, the stone shovel is not a great tool at all, but we are half in desert here. Half in desert, which is nice and easy to dig up. And we've just gone into the forest biome as well, which is a nice biome to look in. So we're going to try and keep ourselves there. I think I can see it already. So quickly get some bits out of the way. Now, you will have some zombies spawn. Yeah, there it is. As soon as we open this, so we're going to want to make sure that we haven't dug ourselves into a little hole. Pick those up, and then we press E to open this, and we're just going to want to pick it up and take everything out of it and get ourselves out of here. Because we're going to want to get away from these zombies straight away. Now, we are slightly encumbered, but don't worry about that, because this was well worth doing. Well worth doing, because from what I noticed, we had a bacon and egg schematic. So without having to put a point into cooking, we'll be able to make bacon and eggs, which is very useful, as we managed to pick up a couple of eggs already, which is a very good food source. I think we've got some canned. Yeah, we've got to sell some tin food. Right, get rid of this, get rid of this. Get rid of the rotting flesh. So we've got some canned food as well, and we'll quickly read our meat stew. And we're going to quickly read that schematic so we can make bacon and eggs. So our lucky looter definitely helped out there. That meat stew is going to be brilliant for tomorrow as well.
Welcome to Trader Joe's.
And now he's given
Everything
us
in here has a
choice for a
full,
couple of
no
things.
money
Now the
back
hunting knife
guarantee.
is the next stage up from the bone knife, so we're definitely going to take that. And even if it offered us something that we didn't really need, but it was worth a lot of money, this one you see worth 134 dukes. So from here we gain ourselves some XP, and he's going to give us 560 dukes as well as the knife. So we will have a quick look at his inventory now, as over here you can see where my mouse cursor is, 564 dukes. So he has got a few, we've got a bit of money now that we'll just have a quick look. Tools, far too expensive, not worth having. Anything in here? Hunting knife, so a level 3 one, 2.5. Reinforced club, too expensive. Anything in here? So we could buy a chemistry station. So now that they do sell these things, they also do sell bikes and vehicles in here, and they do still sell the stations as well. So it's well worth doing some quests to build up your money. Chemistry station, here we go again, 8,000 dukes. We're not interested in any building materials yet. Any mods, don't need those yet. Furniture, no. And the secret stash. Now, every time you put a point into better barter, this will become bigger. So straight away, we know he's restocking on day 4 because it says up here, 5,000 dukes for a bicycle. Now, we need a workbench, and his was destroyed. We do need a workbench. Chances of getting that built up straight away is quite difficult, so it might be worth just trying to do as many quests as we can and just buying a bicycle from the trader. Now down here, if you can see a black line in here, it's your max health. So we know we've built up from 74 to 87. We know every minute, because I put a point into healing factor, that's going to slowly put our health up. So I'm going to get rid of the plant fibres because we can get them from anywhere. The bone knife, as we now have that, and now we're not encumbered anymore. I'm going to build ourselves a couple more bandages, and we're going to head towards the green biome, which was where our quest was. Now, we didn't pick up another quest. Do you have any more jobs? Buried supplies, clear. You've got to fetch 985 Wayne. Now, that's going to probably take us to another town, because we had to run 1.2 to get to here from that first town we were in. So we know it's not going to be that one. Have a quick look on the map. So we know there's going to be some buildings over in this direction. Now, we've got this crawler. Now, these can be a bit of a pain for hitting your ankles, so you want to be careful with them. Keep your distance, but they are easy to hit in the head. So we're going to take him just for the XP, and then we're going to concentrate on this snake for a second. Reload our arrows. Come on, out into the open. There we go. Later on in the game, we're going to need oil shell. This is the oil shell. If you check out my video on the art of mining, it will tell you what all these are. Potassium nitrate and the best way to mine all of these. But again, something we're not going to need in the beginning of the game. Quickly take you on, as the Joes are not too strong. And build up a bit of XP. We've got the XP bar above our tool belt at the bottom, as you see that blue line slowly getting higher and higher, and every time we gain a full bar we get ourselves one more skill point. Plenty of snakes in the desert. There we go. So guys, I'm going to leave that episode there. Sorry that these beginning few episodes are going to be a tiny bit long-winded. Obviously there's a lot of little bits of crucial information that are going to help you along your game, so please bear with it. We will slowly start picking up the pace as we go through the first couple of days, and then we can start really concentrating on the best way to build your horde base and everything else. Please leave any tips and tricks in the comment section below, even if you're not a new player and you're just having a bit of a recap. I'm sure all the information and all the help you can give will be much appreciated by all the people that are getting into the game. Please give a thumbs up and a like on the video if it has helped you out a little bit, and stay tuned for the next episode coming shortly. Take it easy guys, see you later.